Hello bookworms! Today I'm going to be doing a different type of vlog, totally like not dressed up at all, because today I am doing so much cleaning. I am unhauling half of my bookshelf. Probably not what you were expecting to hear, and I'm actually kind of nervous because I know everyone's gonna be like, no, I love your rainbow bookshelves, but I feel like I've been holding on to some books that I don't necessarily need on my bookshelf, and I've definitely been running out of space, and part of that reason is because I'm like, I can't get rid of this one because it helps complete the rainbow spine. So I'm trying to not think from that mindset, and I'm unhauling the things that I've read that I know that I'm not going to read again. And then I also have been holding on to some books that are signed books because I feel like there's memories attached to them. Hello! Andrew just got home from doing dry cleaning. Yeah, so I'm just trying to be better about getting rid of the things that I don't want on my shelf anymore. There's Andrew. He has my avocado dress for me because I got it hemmed, so I'm very excited to try that on. So throughout the day, I'm going to be redoing my bookshelves, and it's gonna be laborious, to say the least. I switched into my You're a Wizard shirt because I wish that I had magic powers that would let me fix my bookshelves much easier than it has been for me today. Right now, everything is just in a state of chaos. I have successfully identified the books that I'm going to be unhauling, and those are in the other room, and I'll show them to you a little bit later. But right now I'm just trying to like reorganize what I have left, and I moved some things from my classic shelf to my main bookshelf. I've got a bunch more adult books on here now that I am planning on reading soon. I tried to make maybe TBR shelves. I don't know. I'm in one of those points where like I hate how it looks so far because it's not done. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are like 7 shelves that I am very pleased with. Then the rest of them, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be hard. This is gonna be my entire day. I had so many plans for this day, and it's just gonna be me trying, focus. It's just gonna be me trying to fix my bookshelf. That's what's gonna happen. I'll show you the state of my room right now because it's a horrible mess and I have no shame because it's a process. So I'm like taking a break, sitting down on the bed right now, watching BookTube. I've moved some stuff from those shelves. That's where I take Instagram photos, and then look, there's just books like all over. And you can see there, like, that's a shelf I like. That's a shelf I like. That's a shelf I like. Like, pretty much this shelf is done, which actually now is making me feel a little better. That shelf is awesome. That shelf is pretty okay. But I don't know. I have so much left to do. Oh my gosh, my hair's a mess. So I've made a little bit of progress. I'm happier with how my shelves look, and I made a pile of books where I am going to read the first chapter of each of them, and then from there I will decide if I am going to keep them or if I'm going to unhaul them. I'll show you that stack of books right now. So first up I have the Bells trilogy, which is Bells, Winter White, and The Grass is Always Greener. Then I've got Diary of a Haunting. Then I've got the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This book called Dead to Me that I remember feeling really interested in a while ago because it is like a murder mystery, but it takes place in the 40s, which sounds really cool. But it's been on my shelves for over 5 years and I haven't read it, so reevaluating. Then I've got Everless. Then I've got The Glass Spare, I'll Meet You There by Heather Demetrios, Because You Love to Hate Me. That one I think I might just read the short stories from the authors that I'm interested in and then unhaul it. Then I have Ink and Bone and Paper and Fire, which is part of the Great Library series. Then I've got Audrey Waite, Marie Antoinette Serial Killer, Mask of Shadows, Little Black Dresses, Little White Lies, Royce Rolls, Bittersweet, and Famous Last Words. While I'm down here, I'll just show you some things that I've done. So I made an arc shelf for myself. So those are the arcs that I would like to read. Then I've got some paperbacks, either to read or that I've read already. Then I have like witchy books and fairy tale retellings and just like some couple of fantasy things. And I've got contemporary books. Then I've got contemporary books, most of which I have read and really enjoyed. Then I've got more contemporary books, and those ones are like my favorites. Those I have read all of and love all of. Then over here, I made a little Lord of the Rings shelf. I got this book recently, which you can't see, but it's all about the plants in Middle Earth, and I'm like really excited about it. Then I made a larger Ella Montgomery shelf. So this is gonna be where I have all of my Anne of Green Gables stuff and her other series. Then I've got my Penguin cloth bound classics. Then I've got candles. Then I have the Barnes & Noble hardcover classics. Then I've got Puffin classics, the Minalima classics, and Canterbury Word classics. Then down here I have a giant shelf that's like just a mix of things, and this is part of where it comes in. Some of these are thrillers that I really loved. Some of them are fantasy that I loved. Some of them I have not yet read yet. There's some contemporary. It's a mess. And then the same thing goes for that shelf, which is just a jumble of things. Then I've got adult books that are on my TBR. Then I have like absolute favorite fantasy series of YA books. I have not yet read Thunderhead, but I've read everything else on the shelf. Then I've got more candles. Then I have my Penguin Drops Caps editions, which I still have to complete that collection, and once I do that, that'll be like expanding, so I'll have to figure that out when the time comes. Then I've got some more, these are like classics on the side, these are classics. Then I have like Beatrice Williams books. Then I have this planter that I love but Andrew thinks is creepy, but I don't care, and Neil Gaiman books. And then I've got more adult paperback books to read. And then I really did not do anything much to these shelves, except that top shelf is just covered in candles. Those are all A Court of Thorns and Roses candles, which is ridiculous. Then I've got, oh, except for Fae Warrior. That one's Throne of Glass. Then I have all of my Cassandra Clare books, and then the UK editions of Throne of Glass. Then I've got some like all-time favorite fantasy books. Then I've got more favorite fantasies, but I have a little gap there. Then I've got more fantasy that I love / I'm still in the middle of reading. And then I've got sci-fi and MISC. Then over here, because I moved some of this stuff, I've got some middle grade, I've got some more middle grade, I've got more middle grade, I've got the remnants of my Peter Pan shelf. I've got Star Wars / sci-fi / a couple of fantasy books that I want to read, and I've got more fantasy. Then I've got some classics that are like just really tall, so they're hard to put on shelves. Then I have Hunger Games and my Sookie Stackhouse books, but I have to figure out what to put there. Sadly, Hunger Games does not fit. Then I've got some adult fantasy. Then I made a little Name of the Wind shelf. Then I've got more adult fantasy. There's a pillow in the way. But then I have some more Barnes & Noble classics. So I just got home from work, and remember how I showed you my shelves yesterday? Well, I decided to change them again because it's a process. Decided that I really want the books that I love most closest to like the heart of my bookshelf, which I consider to be like this area because that's where I sit in front of to film. And there are some of them there, like I have my fantasy-ish ones, but like in thinking about it, I really want books like The Cruel Prince and Strange the Dreamer and like The Diviners to just be like much closer to me, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start shifting things yet again. It is later and I am in a much better place with these bookshelves. I finagled a couple things around and now I still have a little bit of a rainbow going on, and like I said, I feel like the books that I love most are now closer to where I sit when I film, which I feel like is not only a good thing because obviously like I want to be close to those books, but also it's a good thing for people who maybe haven't ever been to my channel yet and want to get to know me a little bit as a reader. Then they'll be able to see like, okay, these are the kinds of books that she loves and enjoys, clearly because they're right there behind her. So I thought that would be really good. But I'll just show you what I shifted around, and then I swear there will be a bookshelf tour coming. I usually do them in like May, June, so I'm gonna continue on with that trend and post it around then. But I'll just give you like a quick overview, and then also later, either this week or next week, I will be posting an unhaul video where I'll be showing you all of the books that I unhauled, because I was gonna include it in this vlog, but I feel like it'll get long because I've already spent so much time just like trying to reorganize things. This is where we are now. So I ended up putting adult paperbacks up there. Then this shelf is really like one of those work in progress shelves. I moved my candles over so that you can see my like Throne of Glass and Akavor and Witchlands and An Ember in the Ashes books, and is kind of like a mishmash now, and I need to figure out my direction here. The shelf stayed exactly the same. This one is now adult hardcovers that are on my TBR. My to read pile is like in the way, but this shelf essentially stayed the same as well, and so did that bottom shelf, so you're not really missing out anything there. Then I'll just keep going. That shelf also stayed relatively the same. That shelf is exactly the same. Now here's where we have some differences. So this shelf is like, this is usually where I sit when I film. Sorry, my nails aren't done. So you can see like this will be closest to me. So I've got lots of favorites there. Then I've got my candles. That shelf stayed the same. Then I have this shelf, which is YA contemporaries that I love. And then I've got my Lord of the Rings shelf. And then I moved the Anne of Green Gables shelf over there. And then I've got more YA contemporaries that I love. And now you can see, I'm gonna trip on this pillow behind me. So you can see I still have a bit of a rainbow here going on across those second shelves. I'm trying not to move, I don't want to make you dizzy. This shelf is the same, candle shelf is the same. Here are favorites. This one is relatively similar, but I moved some stuff. Nevermore is already on my favorite shelf. I love it that much. Then I've got my like fantasy, fairy tale, witchy mix of books going on there. That shelf stayed the same. That shelf stayed the same. Don't mind this giant mess on my floor that I'm still in the middle of cleaning. That shelf is pretty similar. That shelf is pretty similar but slightly different, and then my lighting equipment's getting in the way. That is my Barnes & Noble Classics, which I now moved there. My Mortal Instruments shelf, which I need to fix and move those Throne of Glass books. And now you can see these beauties. And then I'm also going to try to utilize some of the space that I have left up here. That is the current state of my bookshelves. And this is probably the first video that I've ever done where I am not wearing any makeup at all, but it's because I had to be like down and cleaning and, you know, just getting into it. So there was no time for getting ready for these days. Like I said, I will be doing an unhaul video coming shortly and a bookshelf tour in the very near future. So look out for those. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you like my new bookshelves. I definitely think that is a big change, but I'm really enjoying how they look. I'm feeling a lot better than I did when I first initially set out to do it, because it was quite a process, as I've been saying. So yeah, that is all that I have for this vlog, and I will see you guys soon in a new one. Bye!